Time, the one resource we all share, yet never fully grasp. It moves quietly, slipping through our fingers while we remain convinced there's always more. But is there? Seneca, the great Stoic thinker, didn't just write about time. He warned us about its theft, not by others, but by ourselves. By distraction, by delay, by the illusion that tomorrow is promised. His words, written centuries ago, are more urgent now than ever, and today they reach you. A letter that could change everything. Have you ever felt like life is moving too fast, yet you're stuck in place? You promise yourself you'll start tomorrow, exercise more, read more, live more, but somehow the days pass, and tomorrow never comes. Seneca saw this trap. He understood the human tendency to postpone, to waste the very thing we can never recover. And in his letter, On the Shortness of Life, he speaks directly to you, across time, across centuries, with a truth both unsettling and liberating. Most people do not live, they merely exist. Why this message matters today. In a world overflowing with distractions, obligations, and endless noise, Seneca's wisdom offers a path back to clarity. He teaches that time is not something we have, it is something we must use. And when we begin to live intentionally, fully present in each moment, life shifts. This letter is more than philosophy. It's an invitation, a challenge to rethink how you live, because the truth is, you don't need more time. You need to stop wasting the time you already have, so listen closely. Let these ancient words guide you. And ask yourself, what will you do with the time that remains? Chapter 1. Time is not ours, it is lent to us. It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste a lot of it. Seneca. You believe time is yours. You wake up each morning assuming there will be more of it tomorrow, more chances, more opportunities. You speak about the future as if it is promised, yet you know deep down that time does not belong to you. It is merely lent to you. Seneca understood this well. He warned that people treat time as if it were infinite, carelessly spending hours on distractions, obligations, and trivial concerns. But tell me, if time were truly yours, wouldn't you guard it more carefully? Wouldn't you hold it close, like gold, like breath, like life itself? The illusion of ownership. You tell yourself that tomorrow, next week, next year, you will finally begin. You will write that book, learn that skill, call that friend, start living with purpose. But do you see the flaw in this thinking? The hours that were lent to you yesterday are already gone. The minutes you waste today are never coming back. Marcus Aurelius, another great Stoic, wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." The certainty of death is the only guarantee in life, yet most people live as if they will never die. If you were handed a sack of gold and told it was all you'd ever have, would you mindlessly spend it on things that brought no joy, no meaning? No. You would count each coin, spending deliberately, but when it comes to time, you give it away freely. To distractions, to trivialities, to people who do not value it, a life borrowed, not owned. A man once sat by the shore, watching the waves roll in, feeling the warmth of the sun. He had lived for 60 years, yet in truth he had only truly lived for 10. The rest had been spent chasing status, pleasing others, accumulating things. If asked about his life, he could list many accomplishments, many possessions, but few moments where he had felt alive. Seneca would tell you this: time is not yours, it is borrowed, and the lender can demand its return at any moment. If you knew that, would you change the way you spend your days? How do you spend your time? Pause for a moment. Look at your own life. Do you fill your days with action or idleness, with creation or consumption? Do you reflect, learn, improve, or do you let time slip through your fingers, assuming there will always be more? Seneca wrote, "While we are postponing, life speeds by. Look around." How many dreams have already faded simply because you assumed you would have time to pursue them later? This is not a lecture, it is a wake-up call. Not from me, but from men who lived centuries before you, who saw the same mistakes, the same illusions, the same wasted lives. Time cannot be saved, only spent. You cannot store time for later. You cannot keep it in a vault or lock it away for safekeeping. Every second, you are spending it. The only question is, are you spending it well? The Stoics believed in living intentionally, in shaping each moment with purpose. Not waiting for a perfect day, a perfect chance, but choosing how to live now. You do not own time. You never did. But while it is lent to you, you have the power to shape it into something meaningful. Now, ask yourself, how will you spend today? Chapter 2. The difference between living and merely existing. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Marcus Aurelius. You wake up, follow your routine, move through the motions of your day. But ask yourself, are you truly living or simply existing? Seneca warned of this very danger. He saw how people drift through life, consumed by obligations, distractions, and empty pursuits. They do not question the path they walk. They do not ask if it is their own. They simply assume this is life, that existing is enough. But is it? Existing is survival. Living is purpose. Think of someone standing at the edge of a vast ocean, their feet touching the water, but never stepping in. They watch, they hesitate, they wait, but they never experience it. That is existence without life, a presence without depth. Life is long if you know how to use it, Seneca wrote, but most do not use it. They delay passion, defer action, silence their own curiosity. They assume they will have time later to explore, to feel, to change, but later is uncertain. Only now is real. Do you feel this in your own life? That sense of waiting, of postponing the moment when you truly begin? The trap of routine and obligation. You tell yourself you are busy. You convince yourself that responsibilities justify a life half-lived. Work. Duties. Commitments. But are they yours? Or have they been placed upon you by others, by society, by expectations you never questioned? Epictetus reminds us, if you want to improve, be content to be thought foolish and stupid. To live fully, you must be willing to step outside the expectations of others, to seek meaning over comfort. Truth over routine, a story of wasted years. There was once a man who built a life others admired. He worked tirelessly, accumulated wealth, achieved status. But in the final days of his life, he sat alone, realizing he had never truly lived. His choices had never been his own. His dreams had never been pursued. His life had belonged to others, to obligations, to expectations. Seneca's warning echoed in his mind. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. He had feared failure, feared judgment, feared stepping beyond the life prescribed to him, and now he feared only one thing, time running out. Do you see yourself in that man? Do you feel the weight of days spent merely surviving rather than embracing life? The choice before you. You do not need more time. You do not need more permission. You need only to begin. Ask yourself, what have I postponed, believing there would be a better time? What choices have I avoided, fearing change? What passions have I silenced, convincing myself they were impractical? Seneca tells us, the greatest obstacle to living is expectancy, which hangs upon tomorrow and loses today. If you continue waiting, continue existing without living, the truth is simple. You will wake one day with nothing left but regret. Living begins. Now, you are not here to survive. You are here to experience, to create, to feel. Do not assume life will find you. You must reach for it. You must claim it, because one day you will look back, and the only question that will matter is this: did I truly live? Chapter 3. Why people fear death, but not wasting time. You live as if destined to live forever. No thought of your frailty ever enters your mind. Seneca. Death terrifies many. It looms in the distance, unknown and inevitable. You avoid thinking about it, pushing it further into the future, as if ignoring it will delay its arrival. But Seneca reminds you of something far more troubling. Not death itself, but the fact that people waste life without fear. You measure your days, your years, yet rarely ask whether you've truly lived them. You grasp at fleeting moments, believing time is abundant, never realizing it is slipping away as you speak, as you breathe, as you wait for someday. The illusion of endless time. You fear losing wealth. You fear losing status. You fear losing relationships. But when have you feared wasting an hour, a day, a lifetime? The truth is, you do not treat time with the respect it deserves. You assume there will always be more of it, next month, next year, next decade. But time is not promised. It is only borrowed. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "You could leave life right now. Let that determine what you do and say and think." Yet how many moments have you allowed to pass without thought? How often have you postponed joy, passion, or purpose for a day that may never come? A story of lost time. There was once a man who, in his youth, dreamed of traveling the world. He longed to see ancient ruins, meet wise scholars, breathe in the air of distant lands, but he told himself he was too busy. "I'll go when I'm older," he said. "When I have more time." Years passed. He built a career, raised a family, settled into routine, but the dream still lingered, waiting for him, untouched. One evening, he sat staring at a map, tracing the places he had once promised himself he'd see. His hands, now worn with age, trembled. He realized with crushing certainty he had waited too long. The time was gone, and so was his chance. Seneca's words echoed in his mind. While we are postponing, life speeds by, the weight of unlived days. Now ask yourself, what have you postponed? What have you told yourself you will do someday? The book you will write, the love you will express, the risks you will take, the passions you will explore. All these things remain untouched, waiting for you, but time does not wait. Epictetus warns, "How long will you wait before you demand the best of yourself?" Waiting is the greatest thief. It steals your life in quiet increments until one day you wake and realize there is no more time left to borrow. You fear death because you have not truly lived. If life feels incomplete, if you sense that something is missing, it is not because you need more time. It is because you have not used the time you already had. And here is the paradox. You fear death most when you feel your life has been wasted. Those who have lived fully do not fear the end. They do not grasp at more time because they have used the time they were given. Seneca tells us, "It is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it." Death is not frightening. Not living is. The choice before you. You cannot control when your time will run out, but you can control what you do with the time you have. So I ask you, what will you do with this moment? Will you treat it as something infinite, something disposable, or will you shape it into something meaningful? Because one day the clock will stop. And the only thing that will matter is whether you truly lived. Chapter 4. How to Master Time, a Stoic Practice. You act like mortals in all that you fear, and like immortals in all that you desire. Seneca. Time is the most valuable thing you have, yet you give it away without thought. You worry about the future, plan for security, chase fleeting ambitions, all while believing you will always have enough of it. But what if you didn't? What if time was slipping through your fingers faster than you realized? Seneca warned us, people act as though they will live forever, yet they fear losing trivial things more than they fear losing their own lives. You fear failure, you fear embarrassment, you fear financial loss. But do you fear wasting your days on things that bring no meaning? The difference between spending time and investing. It imagines someone handing you a bag of gold and telling you it was all the wealth you would ever receive. Would you spend it recklessly? Or would you guard it, spend it wisely, and use it for things that truly mattered? Now replace gold with time. This is your life. These hours, these days, these years, they are all you will ever have. But unlike gold, time cannot be stored, saved, or reclaimed. Once spent, it is gone forever. Marcus Aurelius understood this deeply. He wrote, "Waste no more time arguing what a good man should be. Be one. Time is not meant for hesitation. It is meant for action." How the Stoics mastered time. The Stoics believed that mastery of time begins with intention. You cannot control how much time you have, but you can control how you spend it. Seneca offered 4 guiding principles for reclaiming your hours. Audit your time. Examine where your minutes go. Are they spent on things that bring depth, learning, and meaning, or are they lost to distractions? Remove unnecessary obligations. Say no to things that drain your time and give little in return. Not all commitments are worthy. Practice presence. Own the moment you are in. Do not dwell on the past, nor obsess over the future. Live according to your values. Make decisions that align with who you want to be. Do not waste time chasing what does not serve you. A story of lost hours. There was once a man who worked tirelessly, telling himself he was building for the future. He postponed his passions, his dreams, his relationships, all in pursuit of stability. He believed time was abundant. Then one evening, he looked up and realized his children had grown, his youth had faded, and his dreams remained untouched. The years had slipped through his fingers while he had been waiting for the perfect moment to finally live. Seneca's words haunted him. Life is long if you know how to use it. Had he used it well, or had he wasted it under the illusion that he always had more time? Time cannot be saved, only spent. Look at your own life. Where is your time going? Do you fill your days with action or idleness? Do you create or merely consume? Do you invest in things that nourish your mind, your soul, your relationships? Or are you waiting for the right moment, the right opportunity, the right circumstances? Seneca warns, while we are postponing, life speeds by. You do not get to keep time. You can only use it. And the greatest tragedy is not death. It is reaching the end and realizing you never truly lived. Your time is yours. Use it well. You cannot add more years to your life, but you can add more life to your years. So, I ask you, what will you do with the time that remains? Will you continue waiting, or will you finally begin? Chapter 5. Your time is wealth. Spend it wisely. You are living as if destined to live forever. yet you fear losing everything except time itself. Seneca, you have been given wealth beyond measure. But it is not gold, it is not power, it is time. And yet you spend it carelessly, scrolling, waiting, postponing. You fear losing possessions, money, status. But when have you feared losing a single hour? A day? A lifetime? Seneca saw this mistake centuries ago. He watched as men wasted their lives chasing things they could not keep while ignoring the only thing they could truly call their own. This moment, the wealth you cannot see. If I handed you a bag of coins and told you it was all the wealth you'd ever receive, you would guard it carefully. You would spend with intention. You would ensure that nothing was wasted, but time slips through your fingers unnoticed. You assume there will always be more of it. You treat it as if it is infinite, when in truth, it is more fragile than anything else you possess. Marcus Aurelius reminds us, you must realize that you have only a short life to live, and that all of it is yours. But how much of your time do you truly claim for yourself? How much do you waste on things that do not nourish your soul? How people lose their time without knowing it. Seneca tells us, people are frugal in guarding their personal property, but as soon as it comes to squandering time, they are most wasteful of the one thing in which it is right to be stingy. Think about it. You protect your belongings. You lock your doors, you guard your savings, but when it comes to your hours, your days, your years, you give them away freely. You let distractions steal them. You let obligations consume them. You let the fear of change keep you trapped in meaningless routines. And then, one day, you look up and wonder, where did it all go? A story of time spent and time lost. There was once a man who spent his life pursuing wealth. He worked long hours, sacrificed moments with family, ignored his passions, all in pursuit of financial security. He told himself, I will enjoy life later, when I have enough. But there was never enough. Always more to chase, more to earn, more to prove. And then, one day, time ran out. As he looked back on his life, he did not regret the money he had made. He regretted the time he had lost, the conversations never had, the journeys never taken, the love never expressed. Seneca's words burned in his mind. Life is long if you know how to use it. But he had not used it. He had merely spent it, without thought, without care, without meaning. How to guard your time like wealth. Time is more valuable than money, more precious than gold. You must learn to guard it as you would any great treasure. Seneca advises 3 simple rules. Be ruthless with distractions. Your time is stolen not in great tragedies, but in small, unnoticed moments. Cut out the things that do not serve you. Choose your commitments wisely. Not all obligations are necessary. Ask yourself, does this truly matter? Or am I wasting precious time? Live as if today is the last day. If you knew your time was ending soon, how would you spend today? The answer will reveal what truly matters. Epictetus said, how long will you wait before you demand the best of yourself? And that is the real question, isn't it? How long will you wait before you finally live? Time cannot be earned, only spent. There is no saving time for later, no storing it away in vaults, no reclaiming lost moments. You can only spend it, and the only question that will matter is whether you spent it well. So ask yourself, what will you do with the time that remains? Will you guard it, cherish it, and live with intention? Or will you let it slip through your fingers, only realizing its value when it is too late? Seneca's wisdom is clear. You do not need more time. You need to stop wasting the time you already have. The choice is yours. Conclusion: your time is yours. Make it matter. Seneca's words have traveled across centuries to reach you today. not as mere philosophy, but as a challenge, an urgent reminder that your time is slipping away, and only you can decide how to use it. You do not need more hours, more days, more years. You need only to claim the ones you already have. To live fully and deliberately. To stop postponing, stop waiting, stop assuming that life will begin someday. Because someday is an illusion. Only now is real. Marcus Aurelius urged, "At dawn, when you have trouble getting out of bed, tell yourself, 'I am rising to do the work of a human being.' So rise. Make today count. Make this moment something worth remembering." If this message has resonated with you, if you feel the pull to live with intention, to master time rather than be mastered by it, then subscribe to Stoic Philosophy. Together we explore the wisdom of the Stoics, not as distant theory but as a guide for life. A path toward clarity, discipline, and purpose. Join the journey. Subscribe now, because wisdom without action is meaningless. And your time is far too valuable to waste.